Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to be talking about Dungeons & Dragons in its 40th year of existence, the year 2013. All right. So, with its 40th year, we're going to be talking about that specific year through the filter of clear, catalyst, location, entity, artifact, and relationship. So who is the catalyst for Dungeons & Dragons in the year 2013? Well, the catalyst for Dungeons & Dragons in the year 2013 is a gentleman by the name of Adam Koebel. And Adam Koebel is a really unusual designer. Super unusual. He stands for a lot of things, and there's a lot of specific themes that run around Adam Koebel because he's really special. He's really unique, and he's a massive impact on the TRPG community. Okay, so let's talk about his history a little bit. So Adam Koebel is specifically a gentleman who came up, and what he did was he created Vincent Baker created a game called Apocalypse World. Apocalypse World is right now the game that brought forward the Powered by the Apocalypse rules set, which is a system rule set. Okay, it's a system set. It is a rule system that actually powers multiple individual freestanding core rule books. Okay, it's incredibly powerful, right? However, the PBTA, the Powered by the Apocalypse rules, the Powered by the Apocalypse set of games, really, in my opinion, it's not there because of the work of Vincent D. Baker. In many ways, and in more ways, in my opinion, it's there because of the work of Adam Koebel. So Adam Koebel, with another gentleman by the name of Sage Latora, took the Apocalypse World rules and created, and specifically created Dungeon World. Now, Dungeon World was a Dungeons & Dragons stand-in with an incredibly innovative rule set, right? And Adam Koebel brought that to the world. He brought that to the market, right? And so here you have a designer who's a strong designer, but in many other ways, he's like a discoverer, right? He discovered the beauty that existed within Apocalypse World, but also realized that Apocalypse World, because it was made as a mature title, was going to see very, very little play. And that, by making that a rated R game, air quotes there, it massively reduced the amount of people that would ever see this gorgeous rule set. And so Adam Koebel fixed that, and he created Dungeon World, and a ton of people play Dungeon World. I think far more people have ever played Dungeon World than have ever played Apocalypse World. And I think Adam Koebel is really responsible for the rise of PBTA because he made Vincent Baker's work accessible. And that makes him really unique. He's not a designer who did something completely on his own that was absolutely brilliant. What he did was he recognized something brilliant and dragged it out of a junkyard, right? And shined it up and put it on display for everyone. And that, there's just not a lot of people who do that, right? Now, that was Adam Koebel's first act, right? Since then, what he has done is he has gone on and he has absolutely crushed social media and TRPG flow, right? So for every dungeon master out there who wants to stream games, for every tabletop role-playing game designer who wants to get their game name out there and wants to build goodwill in the community, for every player out there who needs advice and wants to see what excitement looks like in the TRPG community, you're not going to find a better mentor than Adam Koebel. And he makes a crap ton of content, and he's absolutely brilliant, and he is leading the way on how social media is used by designers, by game masters, and by players, right? And all of this continues to float the boat of Dungeons & Dragons, and all that shine comes from Dungeons & Dragons. And in addition to that, Adam Koebel not only runs Dungeons & Dragons games, he comments, his commentary is deep onto the D&D side. And then in addition to that, he actually has commercial connections and is a paid agent of Wizards of the Coast on some projects, right? So Adam Koebel is he is the epitome of modern TRPG designer community activist, community champion. He's a whole ball of wax, man. He is just a really, really incredibly important designer. And he definitely carries the banner for Dungeons & Dragons, but he also carries the banner for a lot of indie games. And you're like, what? Wait, how is he in both the Dungeons & Dragons camp and in the indie camp? And it's pretty incredible. He's really incredible. If you're not familiar, get familiar. He is an absolutely incredible designer. And he's really important in the history of Dungeons & Dragons, in modern history. He's important to the modern history of Dungeons & Dragons, right? This decade is specifically. Like, Adam Koebel owns it, right? Like, it's just really, you can't understate how much he's done. All right, so what is the location for 2013? Well, it is Los Gatos, California, which is the headquarters of Netflix, right? And Netflix is now an absolute massive impact on our culture, which means it impacts every designer, every dungeon master, every player for Dungeons & Dragons, right? And Netflix really changed the game, right? And now you see Disney scrambling to build the same type of streaming service. Amazon, with Amazon Prime, is trying to build the same type of streaming service. Warner Brothers everyone is trying to copy Netflix's model. And what is its model? Well, it's build a massive, absolutely massive library of content and create new content constantly, and make sure that your streaming service has so much amazing, compelling content that people simply cannot not subscribe. I don't know anyone who doesn't have a Netflix account, not one, right? Like, and so it's just huge, right? And it's really reshaped how content is consumed, and because so many people are watching Netflix, I have to say Netflix makes it harder to run Dungeons & Dragons games than it used to be. Because people could just go home and watch 1,000 movies, 1,000 television shows, 1,000 documentaries. It's bonkers. And so Netflix is there. It did not help Dungeons & Dragons in any way. In fact, it's a major, major problem for Dungeons & Dragons designers, dungeon masters, and players. Okay? All right, so who is the entity in the year 2013 for Dungeons & Dragons? It is Taylor Swift. And in 2013... Taylor Swift is listed on the Forbes list of the top earning, as well as the top earning female performer of that year. She is crushing it and absolutely rules the pop charts, right? And a lot of people are dismissive of Taylor Swift, right? But if you're a designer, if you're a dungeon master, if you're a player, you have to pay attention to her. And the reason why is she is creating a ton of content, just like a dungeon master has to create content, right? But when you're a dungeon master, right, you have a choice. You can go run some stodgy pre-gen and serve up McDonald's for your players, or you can create your own stuff, or you can write your own stuff, right? And, and bring something original, something that's really tailored to your group, right? And I would say right now, I am massively against running adventures, right? That's, by the way, if you notice, there's not a single adventure listed anywhere in this list on any of the artifacts. And the reason why is pre-written modules, adventures, are run by the weakest, like most milquetoast, weak sauce dungeon masters out there. True dungeon masters are shown when they run their own content, right? And if you're running more pre-gen than you're running your own content, you ain't doing it right, right? And Taylor Swift absolutely proved this, right? One of the things is, a lot of people would say, oh, Taylor Swift, she's not that, deep of a performer, and she, I don't really think she's really bringing a lot to the table. But the reality is she writes her own content, right? And she has a ton of huge, massive hits. And while she has a great voice and she can dance well, that is incredibly common. But what's not common is when you're getting that package with somebody who's writing their own content. And that's what Taylor Swift is. She's pointing the way for every director, saying, don't run that crap written by other people, make your own, right? And so that's Taylor Swift's, lesson to every dungeon master out there. And so she's the entity for 2013. What is our artifact in the year 2013 for Dungeons & Dragons? Our artifact in the year 2013 for Dungeons & Dragons is Google Glass. All right. Google Glass comes forward in 2013, right? I get super excited because I'm like, wait, you can put a computer on my face? Bet, let's do it, right? I was super hyped about this. Well, what happened was, so everybody, you know, like, we've been using our phones forever, right? And, you know, we're 15, 20 years. And mobiles are massive, and so everybody was like, when Google said, hey, we can put a computer on your face, you know, a ton of techies were like, bet, I am in, just like me, right? But the reality is the culture, the society of America said, no, you don't. and what really ended Glass was one word: glass hole, right? So it was just it was this word that came out, and it came out really fast, and, you know, and people would use it when people were wearing Google Glass. And overall, the American culture and American society said, this is too invasive. We do not want cameras on people's faces. You can't walk into a bathroom, right, and have your Google Glass on, right? This has got to stop. This is a no. Hard stop, no, right? So Google Glass just went the wayside. And it was a huge reminder that of, you know, what Star Trek used to say. Okay, you could do that with technology, but did you ask, should you do that with technology? And nothing has shown that more clearly than Google Glass. So Google Glass was the artifact for 2013. What was the relationship for Dungeons & Dragons in the year 2013? Well, it was exploration, right? Exploration is 1/3 of the game, and Dungeons & Dragons has a massive connection to exploration. And one of the things is, like, for instance, we explore our world constantly. We explore under the oceans. We explore under the ground. We explore in the sky. We explore in space. We explore in urban areas, places that have been ruined, right? Steam tunnels under colleges. There's exploration being done there, right? There's just, exploration is huge and it is absolutely connected to the game. And I really don't think there really is a strong, competent designer, dungeon master, or player who doesn't have exploration as one of the key ingredients of their heart and mind, right? And exploration is a major part of the game, and Dungeons & Dragons has a major relationship with exploration. That is a clear history of the 40th year of Dungeons & Dragons history, right? And I would love to know, did you own Google Glass? Let me know in the comments. Also, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful day.